They'll be calling you a radical. Back to T.P.P. I'm going to explain some things to you. I call him the Weasel 8, which is really the Democratic Weasel 13, but we've all known the 5. Anybody who's followed any political thesis, we know Dianne Feinstein is one of the most evil, neoconservative, hardcore, mass murdering, globalist, evil bitches who ever walked the face of the earth. McCaskill from his, we know how evil she is. We know Nelson in Florida. As California, the new Florida. I want to explain some stuff on T.P.P. and how this worked. You fools in the state of Washington. You do, these 2 female senators that you have, you do know their path, where they come from. You do know who propped them up, who put them in office, the money they're worth. You do know their network. I want people to very much understand this. The procedural vote, they would have never got this. Never got this. This was the procedural vote. This is the marker. This is, everybody knows it's a done deal now. Why they're voting, they do it right before Memorial Day, sneak it through. The CEO of Boeing is in the House, behind closed doors, which is against the law. You don't think the corporations own this, and I want people to very much understand this now. Oh, McConnell comes out, that turtle rat scum, he comes out and says, you do know who his wife is. You do know that. I mean, it's amazing to me how people can't even dig in media. Right here, Mike Lee, that weasel rat. He's saying, oh, you welfare victims, you know, you guys need to freaking pull up your bootstraps. While he's running for the Senate on a fiscal responsibility, he gets $600,000 on the bank. His great big house up in Alpine, Utah, in foreclosure while he's running. You see any media report it? Any local media? Any national? No. That's the way it is. Don't you see who these people, I mean, it's right obvious on your face. These corporations are so brass now. This does not give Boeing, McConnell says, oh, it's going to make bigger paychecks. That's code. That's exactly code word for the globalists. Yeah, bigger paychecks. It's just like, okay, they're going to raid, you know, the soccer foundation. Why would they go after them? After all the corruption's right under their feet. Easy. The globalists in the United States, they're pissed off. They give the freaking event to, it's just this rat fighting against this rat now. Oh, they give a Qatar? When the United States, they're like, oh, these weasels stole from us, weasel. It's the fucking globalist weasels eating themselves. This does not give you in the state of Washington, Boeing, the ability to sell more in the Trans-Pacific region, in the slave, the monarchy of Thailand, of Asia. Hell no. This gives them the ability to move there. Don't you see the look, NAFTA had provisions in it. Part of NAFTA provision under the so-called military umbrella, on the side Boeing, different companies, they couldn't do it. Widen that rat. Now you think about that rat. There's the one, there's the king rat. Who believed that Wyden signed on to this? Wyden goes to Fukushima channel, but he says it clearly. This is wiping out the, NAFTA had some provisions in it. This takes them out. So what this says now, those provisions that were in there, he says it. This is a new trade. Anybody can go, including the military. They will outsource military now. Mark my words. These are going to be globalist freaking militias now. You will see slaves in the military. By the way, which we already do. By the way, when they allow, we never had a fence. How did that all of a sudden happen post-NAFTA? Let me tell you how that happened post-NAFTA. Because they made it legal. Well, they didn't make it legal, but they stopped enforcing the law on paying. You pay cash to a person. So they plugged in NAFTA, they were farmers, they were done. It's against the law to pay cash. So, and then we got the transparency. The internet's done. I want to explain it. The internet's done. Snowden told us specifically in detail. He showed us what they're up to. This bill, you can't even read it. What's the First Amendment of the United States Constitution? I'm a carpenter, what's a hammer? I'm a baker, what's a cake? Oh my God. I can't believe this country is this far gone. So, what it says, the secret language, which has been leaked, we know what the secret language is. There's a reason Obama, that globalist liar rat that he is, stood at Stanford. Now let's go back to Aaron Swartz. Let's go back to this whole dynamic when they were exposing all this, Reddit, whatever, and they murder Aaron Swartz. Doesn't matter if he hung him or hang him. Stanford, Harvard, MIT Media Lab. So here comes Abe, the Prime Minister of Japan. Why would he possibly Of all the Japanese dissenters all over and all the things that he could have done, everything, he goes to Harvard first, private institution. Then he goes to MIT. Why would he possibly go to MIT Media Lab? Oh, the cover-up of Fukushima. Then back to Stanford. Private institutions. The most evil fucking institutions in the history of mankind. Look, the internet's done. He handed it over to NSA. This makes it global. Like so, okay, now they could police it all over. They could completely control it. The last bastion of the First Amendment. It's done. Hasta la vista. And these rats did it. Now, what do we have in the Republican House? The Republicans know who their owners are, bought and paid for. They know who they're on a leash. They know the American voter's so pathetically stupid. They just freaking go, put the R, the D in front of your name. We go to Washington. I'm really a hardcore Duggan Republican. Put the D. They vote. Same with me because this dogma, radical, insane right, I call it the chicken and the cock. The chicken and the cock. Ain't they the same thing? The chicken shit in the cock. These globalist sick fuckers. So that's why I'm going to Vienna. People can't get this. Win the Western Initiative for Nuclear. They're trying to backdoor state of Washington again, these globalist rats. Handout. We're supposed to have the hearings this week in D.C. on the NRC. By the way, the NRC cannot issue these permits. Has to be an act of Congress. Of course, we see how they're bought and paid for. The CEO of Boeing was in behind closed doors when these things made this vote, the procedural vote. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. This fascist, sick nation that we've turned into. Look, I've been in California. California right now, 55 years old to be a senior. The new Florida. San Diego County, which I spent half my life in, that beautiful, it's over. Look, you're born and raised in California. You're a native, born there. San Francisco, San Mateo County, Santa Cruz, Monterey, whatever. San Diego County, Orange County. $3,000 a month. The rent is higher in San Francisco now than it is in Manhattan. For real, because I spent a lot of time in both of them. It's higher there. So, you're 19, 20 years old. You can't afford rent. You can't pay rent because they've turned it into a cultural theme park. People come there, get drunk, sleep in the little beach houses. They divided them up like this. I spent half my life at Pacific Beach. You know, you get up in the morning, you got it all to yourself because everybody's drunk. America's a drunken theme park. It's a pathetic generation. It's a pathetic, have you seen the debt? Have you seen the balance sheet? They're done with you. So these people are still building great big houses in San Diego County, telling these baby wolves, oh, get out, sleep. You know how many people are sleeping in their cars in California, contemporized women? Men? Ain't that America something to see, little pink sleeping bags for you and me. Fuck, go there. People living in the woods are not safe, by the way. I walked the whole way. You get to Santa Cruz. Go to the public library in Santa Cruz. I want you to go there. In Monterey. It will blow your fucking mind. Walk through the woods all the way. And I told you, I could smell death the whole time I'm walking. The whole time I'm walking from Santa Cruz above, I could smell death. You can't smell it at Monterey because I slept with the migrant workers under the bridges. I slept with them. Like this. Organic farm here and on organic farm. That's on Monterey Bay, destroyed. 7th well washed up the shore just the other day. 7th in 5 weeks when they had 17 in 40 years. What's Fukushima? This T.P.P. and Fukushima, the same issue. This is eugenics, this is the killing fields, and I'm here to tell you, San Onofre and Diablo Canyon's next. Mark my words. So that's why I'm going. ICANN's done all that great work at Vienna. They've done all that great work. The IA's headquartered there. That's why I'm going to Europe. Because look, the American bully, everybody's sick of them. So they've finally come up, look, why are we letting them bully? Let's build a coalition around the world. Everybody, if, 180 nations go against this bully, which it is an evil, sick, drunken, ignorant theme park, and their disgusting baby bomber population. And I want to say this. When you say, oh, they're going to export stuff. Yeah, we're going to export one thing, which we've been exporting. Our war machine, depleted uranium. Some young, there was a vlog out, I'll post this, that says, George Bush more evil than Stalin, Mao, all these hardcore mass murders. Because he's worse. They sprayed depleted uranium all over their own men. Their own men they sprayed depleted uranium on. On the Garden of Eden, where the Tigris meets the Euphrates, in the name of Christianity, this is how sick they are. Do you know what the half-life on that shit is? Do you know what that stuff does? It's mass murder. Mass hardcore murder. That's what they're freaking exporting. They're nuclear waste. You know, they play this propaganda machine. Harry Reid and that piece of shit Buffett, that rat, who's going, in Nevada, get this, in Nevada, they have to sell back 3%. 3% of the depleted, of the solar. Solar's taking the field. It's went crazy. So it leads me back to Austria. So in Austria, ICANN, who's organized, they want to get into the club, ICANN. So they try to get into the club. So they're trying to organize, now we call them weasel nations. These nations that sign on to these bullshit agreements and then supply the depleted uranium. The greatest weasel nation is Canada by far. You know, that's what they are. They're weasel nations. They say they're doing what that's what these Democrat 13 are. They're weasels. Weasels. And the Republican Party's lock, stock, barrel. You don't even know who you're voting for. You don't pay any attention. They just tell you. Utah's the worst where I live. This country's gone. This is disgusting. The T.P.P, Boeing executives, CEOs, behind closed doors, making deals. They're Swiss bank account deals. You don't think they are? By the way, Barack Obama has all the Swiss bank accounts. He has them. He promised to release them. Promise. Why does he release it? Because he knows who's on them, including himself now. MIT Media Lab, the people who killed Aaron Swartz. You know, I am Michael Hastings, the people that killed Michael Hastings. I am Pat Tillman, bullet through his head. Ordered execution. This is a third world fascist hardcore state. Have you seen the debt lately? Has anybody even bring it up? And it's like, say, oh, they just print more money. No, they just create bank accounts. Just one day, hey, let's make a deal behind door. Well, how does it work? Just go look at your bank account tomorrow. A number just shows up in your bank account. That's what's going on. You're too similar. This gives Boeing the ability to move to Thailand for slaves. And you don't think they'll do it? I'll do it. These are, you know, just like GM would never do that. Caterpillar would never do that. Oh, Apple would never do that. They all did it. It's over. You know, so you can, ain't that America something? I want you to look up the participation rate. They lie on the numbers. Figures don't lie. Liars figure. You know, this bullshit unemployment rate. You're all serving company. They're going to be able to bring in slaves now and say, oh, they give them, oh, they already do that. They're called the Mexican labor force. I was right here on a construction site the other day. I'm an ex-plaster for years. First they come for the craftsmen. There's a guy up there. This is a federal funded job on the university. He's got little kids up there. I says, they're your kids? Oh, my brother's kids, my kids. How old are they? 6, 7, and 8 with nail gun on their hand working. So I go to the project manager who works for the, you know, this is serfdom. Do you see, understand that? You know what he told me? Oh, that's how the Mexican people do it. I'm like, what? What? This is not Mexico. Child labor, full blown out legal here. They're doing it. You can see who's mowing your lawn, who's cooking your food. All being paid cash. Go to Vegas and you see who cleans your bed. All being paid against the law, all of it against the law. All of it against the law. But you're willing to accept it. You think you're going to get in the club, pure serfdom. You know, go pop some more pills. You know, even your plastic surgeon says it's much too late. It's not your Tom Brady hair plugs. It's not your fake breasts. It's not your Botox. This masquerade party, this fucking facade soon will burn. Oh, it's going to burn down. This can't keep going on like this. This is going to erupt and explode. The participation rate is under 50% for the first time in the history of this country. That means people that can work aren't working. What are they doing? They're sleeping in the woods. Where'd you sleep last night? I slept in the dead pines, where the red sun from Fukushima, Japan, always shines. These rats, and you're going to go along. I mean, it's time for a major revolution. You know, I'm going to Austria. You know, I need funding, of course. You know, I'll build a coalition because I want to see how Germany's done it. Look, Germany threw them out. Merkel, you think Merkel wants to do it? No, her populace makes her do it. Radical, intense activism in Germany kicked them out. Solar took the field. They kicked them out in Switzerland. They're kicking them out all over the world. We need to build a world coalition to stand up to this freaking globalist United States of usury bully. The nuclear cartel bully. The Queen's House of Windsor. Where's Hamilton when we need him? Where's freaking Paul Revere when we need? Oh, the craftsman. The craftsman, the Tariff Act of 1789 at the port, blocking cheap Chinese goods from coming into America. Ain't that America something to see? Little pink sleeping bags for you and me. Stand tuned.